Joining us now is Matt Swaim, who is the communications coordinator for the Coming Home Network. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And you just recently wrote this Catholic Puzzles book, Catholic Puzzles, Word Games, and Brainteasers. And maybe if you could tell us a little bit about why you decided to put this all together and how that was sort of the impetus for this thing.
Yeah, there's 2 volumes of them now, and they really all started as kind of some quizzes that I was giving some 8th grade CCD students. If you want to engage kids, throw them some word games and some word searches and some brain teasers, and that's sometimes a little easier to get their attention than just lecturing them. So I did that for a little while, and then Ave Maria Press approached me about saying, hey, what if we did this for kind of a broader audience and in book form? And I said, well, sure, why not? I'm just nerdy enough to tackle that.
And it's for everyone. It's not just a kids thing. There's some teasers in there that are going to have people struggling, adults and young children as well.
I hope so. I hope this takes you longer than a day to solve. There's some in there that you don't have to have any knowledge of the Catholic faith. You discover along the way, word searches and just simple quote solvers, cryptograms and stuff. But there's some that kind of have like a trivia element to them. And the official age range is young adults and up, which means that I hope it scores really big with like the homeschool middle school crowd, which it actually has. So.
Yeah. And it's good for older people, get their brains going. I mean, that's what they say, right?
I just saw an AARP commercial, advertising brain games to keep you sharp. So I got you covered on the AARP front.
Did you have interest in puzzles and teasers when you were a kid?
Oh, of course. Word searches, the cryptograms, the quote solvers, the logic problems, the rebuses where you've got like a couple of pictures in a word and you got to figure out what word this is, depicting. So getting into that, really just, kind of mixing and matching. And the fun thing is that the well of Catholic trivia is like unfathomably deep. So, one puzzle can be about, just Pope names. One can be about, fruits and vegetables in the Bible. One puzzle can be about, church history. Or, to give you an idea of how deep the well is and how culturally relevant it is, the Tournament of Champions on Jeopardy just had a whole category the other night devoted to Franciscans, like all 5 questions. So this stuff is relevant to everyday life. What if you appear on Jeopardy?
That's right.
You need this stuff.
You got to jump on it. Talk about the research doing this, as you mentioned. It's a very deep well. There's a lot to choose from. But what was it like putting it together?
It was a lot of fun. Some things I already knew. I'm a convert to the Catholic faith, so I actually was received into full communion with the church in 2005. But I studied my way in, meaning that I wanted to know everything there was to know before I signed up for this business. So I picked up a lot of trivia that way. But if you're going to come up with 2 full volumes of this kind of thing, you got to obviously do a little bit more research than just whatever's in the back of your melon. So I did a lot of fun research, found a lot of cool, fun facts that I hope people will say, huh, I never knew that before.
Yeah. Do you have any particular ones that hit you when you were researching? Wow.
Well, I won't say what puzzle it's involved with.
Okay.
But I thought it was pretty cool, and I was able to use a clue about St. John Neumann, some call him, who referred to Niagara Falls as his baptismal font. So I just gave you a clue to one of the puzzles. But in there, you find all kinds of weird kind of nuggets and trivia along the way. And if you can work those in as clues or as ways to steer people toward answers, then hopefully they come away with more than just I solved this puzzle. It's more like a feeling of enrichment.
And I was going to talk to you about that too, about the evangelization of these puzzles as well, and having people learn and delve deeper into their faith just through having fun, trying to figure out things.
Well, John Henry Newman, of course, said to be deep in history is to cease to be Protestant. So, if you truly study history, you're going to get the church's involvement in civilization over time. So that's just one little aspect of it. But there's tons of scripture verses. So instead of solving like you might in the New York Times or something for a quote by Oscar Wilde, you're solving for a quote by Fulton Sheen, right? And if you spend a half an hour picking up that quote and solving for that quote, good chance it might stick with you, right? So that's kind of the hope.
Finding the truth in there.
Is that the subtitle of this thing? It should be. It should be. The truth is in there.
Have you any plans to continue this, or now that you have two?
I don't know, how many of these do you plan to buy?
I'm looking for 3. No. Looking forward to the future of this too. It sounds like you have like a little niche here that you're really enjoying doing.
I guess so. It was a lot of fun to put together, and people who have picked it up so far have said they've really enjoyed it. Again, the range of stuff that you can do in 5 minutes to stuff that might take you an hour on a plane. I'd love to do more of it, and we'll just see how it goes.
Thank you so much, Matt. And if people want to get this, where would they?
Yeah, it's available from Ave Maria Press. I always encourage people to go to their local Catholic bookstores first. If they don't have it, you can order it, and then wherever else fine Catholic puzzle books are sold. It's a very, very niche market.
It's gonna be cliche, but it would make a great stocking stuffer.
I would think you have to kind of roll it up a little bit, but it works.
Thanks so much, Matt. Take care.